Hey guys, Charlie, how is it? Okay, it is important that I do this video. So welcome to TECHFOCUS24. This is Big Tech GH. It is very important that I do this video because you see, sometimes implementation of national policy, okay, the way to get it right is sometimes just for the policy makers and policy implementers to listen to just common sense suggestions, and sometimes those things can help. Just yesterday I did an article and told the story of how at the recent NCA press conference media engagement, let me put it that way, to explain to us what the new SIM registration is going to be like. You know, one of the things the DG mentioned was that they are not introducing an OTP where if a SIM is going to be linked to your Ghana card, you will get an OTP, that's one-time password, on your phone, on your original phone, the original one that you registered with your Ghana card. This OTP will come on it for you to then confirm that you are the one trying to register a new SIM. So if you enter the OTP into the SIM registration platform, the portal, then they will continue. See, this way it will stop anybody who tries to link any SIM to your card, to your Ghana card anywhere in the world. You will get the OTP on your phone, so you will know, and you can stop it. Once you don't enter the OTP onto the platform, you cannot continue. And this is going to stop fraudulent SIM registration. I gave this advice 3 years ago in 2023. The NCA at the time and the government at the time didn't listen to me. They didn't bother. They rather put out a short code that will help people to know how many SIMs have been connected to their. So in other words, they are rather chasing the fraud after the fact, after the fraud has already been committed. But I was suggesting something that would have prevented the fraud. They didn't listen. But this year, the NCA has announced that this is what they are doing. And when I mentioned it at the press conference, the Director General said that when I spoke in 2023, they heard me. This is the new Director General to Rio. But those in charge at the time, they heard me all right. But they decided they will implement what Sami Dowona is saying, because they are wiser, they are smarter than Sami Dowona, or whatever it is they are doing. It will inconvenience whoever they have employed to build the portal. So for them, they won't even listen to what Sami Dowona was saying. That's fine, but at least we now know that the advice I gave was a wise one. They should have listened. So now it is being implemented. So we thank God. But that is not the purpose of this particular video. Is focused on another thing that I reported in 2023, which the NCA came out to deny. NCA actually, the Director General himself at the press conference, I put out a story in July. Now, this is the headline of the story. I'll just post it on the screen. This is the headline of the story. My story simply said that Central SIM Register breached as NCA tries to clear evidence before investigations. Now, this headline is based on investigations that I did, information that I got from a victim, someone whose Ghana card details was used. The guy lives in Accra here, but his Ghana card, and this guy is a data analyst, so he knew what he was talking about. He lives in Accra here, but his Ghana card details was used in Kumasi to register 3 SIM cards. 3 SIM cards. I'm flashing the thing, and I got it. You see, this guy took his time to ask the right questions. This thing happened with Vodafone, so he took his time, chase after Vodafone, chase after NCA, make sure that he got every information, because he demanded that he was right. It is his right to know certain things, to have evidence of certain things. So this guy went in and got information. So he came to me and provided me with the necessary information, with evidence, documented evidence, that his Ghana card was used to register 3 SIMs in Kumasi whilst he was in Accra. Now, the reason my story said that Central SIM Register breached is because NCA told us that the app that has been developed, please listen very, very carefully, the app that has been developed to do the stage 2, because stage 1 was where you go stars 404 to check whether your Ghana card is actually yours. When you go to the telco, they will ask you to do that, and then Ghana NIA will send you a code to then confirm that indeed your Ghana card is yours. That's fine. Now stage 2 is where they will actually capture your biodata, and they require that you, the Ghana card holder, should be present. What they call the liveliness test should be present, so that your picture will be captured and be compared to what is on your Ghana card to confirm that you are actually the owner. Listen very carefully. You are actually the owner of the Ghana card, so that this will prevent a situation where somebody can take another person's Ghana card or Ghana card details and go and register a SIM. Do you understand? If you don't do the liveliness test, how would you know that the person bringing you the Ghana card is actually the owner of the Ghana card? You see, and this is exactly what I talked about to say that we should have done that OTP thing to prevent this, but NCA didn't listen. So now the breach happened. One of the breaches is what this guy came to report to me, and he showed me evidence of this. And even though his Ghana card details were used and he was not present, in other words, the people who use his Ghana card details didn't do a liveliness test. And NCA told us that without the liveliness test, nobody's SIM card will be captured into the central SIM register. They say it is impossible because the app only recognizes a live person. The person should be live. So you cannot take a picture of somebody and come and put it in the app. The app will not accept it. The app will only take the app itself has got a feature that scans your face and compares to what is on your Ghana card. So how then was somebody in Kumasi, in Accra, but his details was used in Kumasi, and they went through the app, and then the app, the SIM register still accepted that registration as valid, and then pass it with what they call a big cap yes. Big cap yes means biodata capture. Yes. The gentleman's biodata was not captured. He was not there for them to capture his fingerprint. He was not there for them to take his picture. But the results came and said that big capture, yes. I exposed this simple, clear breach of the Central SIM Register. NCA Director General held a press conference. I did my story in July. In August, NCA Director General held a press conference and said this. What you are reading, he said that Ghana's SIM database has not been breached. NCA boss. And not him alone. Even another NCA official went on the media tour. After my story, she went on the media tour. She's female. I don't want to say her name because it's not personal. She went on a media tour to I think Sasi Radio 1111 to go and debunk my story that it is not true. Meanwhile, at the time I did the story, NCA was doing everything to try and let Vodafone delink those numbers from the victims' Ghana card, just to clear the evidence, so that when so that they can stand on that and say there was no breach. Meanwhile, they do clearly that there was a breach, because I had published this what you are seeing on the screen right now. I had published it for everybody to see that this thing happened, but they were denying. And I got to know. Listen, this is new information. This is fresh information. This is the first time I'm saying this publicly. I got to know from the victim, and the victim in my story, I mentioned the victim's name and I quoted him because he was my source. He was my source. I quoted him extensively in my story. Still, the people at NCA thought that somebody at Vodafone might have been giving me the information. They thought somebody at Vodafone was giving me information. And I told but I'm quoting the person. So you should rather go and find the victim and ask the victim where he's getting his information from. That I wouldn't know. Then they came, they did that, and I was told, the victim did to tell me that, oh, Charlie boss, do you know that somebody has been sacked at Vodafone because of this? I was shocked. In other words, this regulator and their people, whoever, they are doing everything to the point of even victimizing people, getting somebody sacked just to protect themselves, when they knew clearly that the SIM register, Central SIM Register, had been breached, and the DG went out to go and deny it. Today, just this very press conference that I told you about, just the recent one that NCA held 2 days ago, what they held, and I was there, and then I talked about the OTP thing, and then they said that when I spoke in 2023, they heard me. At that same meeting, the current Director General of NCA clearly made a presentation about 2 to 3 minutes presentation to confirm, to confirm that indeed the central SIM register was breached because a lot of fraudulent SIMs got their way into it. I didn't say it. Watch this video.
So in June last year, we took a sample of the about 2 million registrations and tested it against the NIA database, the IDs. Next slide. The IDs. And we found that some SIM records could not be verified against the NIA. I'll give you some specifics very soon. Some registrations contain incorrect identity information. Some biometric records could not be confirmed, and I would see that as for the fingerprint, it was 0%. There was no match. And then there were some data inconsistencies observed between systems. Next slide. So when it came to the facial match, out of the 2.3 million registrations that we attempted to validate, 81.1% matched. But remember, in the event, there was no liveliness check. Then you still couldn't tell that the one who presented it was indeed the person. So about some 18.9% of what we... And remember, we have some almost 40 million numbers registered. So this is a very small sample that we tested. And so about 81% had a facial match. And next slide, when it came to the fingerprint, it was 0. Fundamentally, the NIA fingerprints were taken with contact. Whereas what we did with the SIM, with the mobile registration the last time, was contactless. And, fundamentally, it would create a challenge as far as matching the 2 fingerprints are concerned.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you see, they knew, NCA, 3 years ago when I talked about it, they knew that I was right. They knew that I was right. You see what the DG said? When they did the test, when they did the audit of the current SIM register, because of which now we are now coming to do another SIM registration. When they did the audit, they realized that, 81% was valid, but about 19%, about 19% of the SIMs in the current central SIM register were fraudulently registered. Clearly showing that the SIM register has been breached. Because how do you say that there is no way anybody can circumvent the app that you were using to get any SIM into the register without first going through a liveliness test? And yet SIMs have been registered without the owners of the Ghana card, the owners of the Ghana card that were used to register those SIMs, to be present to do a liveliness test. When I say the thing has been breached, you came after me, and then from what I hear, you also went after somebody at Vodafone, and the person lost his job. This is what our regulators and our policymakers and people in power, this is what they use their power for. When you expose them, instead of sitting up and then correcting whatever wrong as they rather look for people to victimize. They went after me, they went to rubbish what I reported, and then they got somebody at Vodafone to sack. I don't want to, I later got to know the person's name. I don't want to say the name here because I don't have the person's permission. But they got somebody sacked. You see? So this is it. And you see, if you watch the video, you see what the DG said, that not only was the thing breached to the point of even getting fraudulently registered SIMs into the system, but then even fingerprints, the fingerprints that we talked about. Remember that even Professor Kenatefa said that the process by which they were capturing people's fingerprints, it will be difficult. In fact, it will be impossible for them to be able to and even verify it against the NIA's database. Eslowusu Ekufu went after NIA. It became a fight between them and NIA. It has been now proven today that not even a single, the millions upon millions of SIM cards in the SIM register, not even a single one, not even a single one of the fingerprints could be matched against what is in the Ghana card database, the NIA database. So you ask yourself, politicians, are they thinking about national interest, or they are thinking about the interest of their cronies? They just care about we've given somebody procurement a job. Charlie, we have to just do this thing quickly, and get our money and just walk. Is that it, or they were actually thinking about national interest? This is a problem. This is the problem. So you see, here we are. Tomorrow, today, I've still been giving suggestions. I've given suggestions to NCA. I've given suggestions about certain national policies. We are here today. They may not listen, but tomorrow they will come and they say, Sami do owner. That's what we say in Ghana. Sami do owner. Hemote. Sami do owner. Hemote. I was even telling. I will even put a post on Facebook and said that this is something that you should probably pay me for, because I suggested this thing 3 years ago. They didn't listen. Now they've implemented it. Now this one that I talk about, the breach, today it has been confirmed. So I think that NCA as an institution, because their Director General stood in their name, Dr. Joan Noche stood in their name and said that my story was not true. I think NCA owes me an apology. I think they owe me an apology. Anyway, here is where I end another edition of Big Tech GH. I'll come back to you again. I think this story is very important, because it's sometimes very important that we say some of these things for everybody to know that, Charlie, national policy implementation is not as if the people who are in charge or in government, they are wiser than anybody else. It's just that we voted them in power and we've given them an opportunity to lead us. But it doesn't mean they are smarter than anybody. God bless.